Geometry Lesson 7-1, an introduction to images and transformations today. We've got a couple vocabulary to deal with. One of the first words is the idea of a pre-image. Now, a pre-image, pre meaning before, an image is something that is not the reality, but a change has taken place. So it's the original figure before any changes. So here I have the actual object. I transform it somehow, I change it somehow, and I have its new image. What it used to be is considered the pre-image. It's before. So this is the image of the original, and the original is really referred to as the pre-image. We also have the image, which is the new figure after an original is transformed. So we have the original pre-image itself, and then we become the image. So what's new is the image, what's old is the pre-image. In terms of our transformations, anytime you have an operation that will map, which is another way of saying moves, the pre-image back onto the original image in some way or another, that's considered a transformation. And we have a few different types. We have reflection, rotation, and translation. I remember these three as kind of like Karate Kid math, when you could say reflection, where both sides are reflections of each other, and there's a vertical line for our line of reflection. And then we could have rotation, so an object is rotating around a fixed point. And the last one is translation. That's where an object just slides. It doesn't twist, it doesn't turn, doesn't flip, it just slides to a new location. So reflection, rotation, and translation. All right, those are our three different types of transformations. One more definition is the idea of an isometry, a transformation that preserves the lengths, the angle measures, parallel lines, and distances between points. In other words, it doesn't mess with the shape. The shape originally looked like this. We reflected it, we rotated it, we transferred it, we did something to translate, but we didn't change its formation. We didn't change its shape overall. All right? Now some of these kind of things, here's an example of, would you say this is rotation, translation, or reflection? Most people eliminate reflection, and then other people will say, well, I think it's translation because it's just sliding to a new spot. But in reality, if this were to rotate around the fixed point in the center, we can tell that the shape itself is turning upside down. So this is actually an example of rotation. So does that make the Ferris wheel also an example of rotation? Maybe parts of it. All right? Parts of this Ferris wheel are definitely rotating around this fixed point. But all the little cars that you would ride in, they are not rotating around this fixed point. I know that sounds strange. They're actually being translated because they do not ever twist or flip or turn. If you look back at my trapezoid, you'll notice the longer shape is on the bottom and the shorter shape is on top. But once I rotate it to the bottom, now the bigger length is on the top and the shorter side is on the bottom because it is fixed and rotating around that point. With translation, the way this Ferris wheel works is this box will never turn. It goes around that point, yes, but it does not turn. None of these cars go upside down. So this is an example of rotation because it does rotate around, but it's also, the cars are an example of translation because they are sliding to new locations without actually flipping upside down. So again, you have the pre-image, which is the original, and then the image is the new after a transformation took place. And you have these three main transformations: reflection, translation, rotation. Those are your three to look for.